Alright, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be repairing the power cable for my pressure washer here. This is the Ryobi 1800 PSI premium electric power washer. I was using this to wash my car, and it's working perfectly fine. I didn't see any issues or anything like that. And you know, when you're using a pressure washer, there's going to be water involved. So, you know, there's water everywhere. Thankfully, the cord for this is extremely long, so it's nowhere near cable is connected to power. But once I went to, you know, disconnect it because I was done using it, I noticed that the cable is damaged. So as you can see right there, this is the negative cable. Because the cable is damaged, it could you know, possibly cause it to overheat. It is pretty bad. You can see the copper here. So the cable is probably heating up. I didn't use it for long, of course. You know, I'm not going to be using this for hours. So I'm going to attempt to fix this, and I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to do it. Now, I haven't repaired, you know, usually when I repair something like this, like how I used to do it, is I would just cut the wire, strip some of the insulation from each end, and I would just twist it and then put some electrical tape, which works fine, I think. But in this video, I actually have something more proper. I bought these little connectors from Temu. I'm not gonna lie, I bought them probably a year ago. I never used them. They were outside for a whole year. Yeah, I'm gonna try to use these and, you know, see how it looks. You know, hopefully it works out with these. You know, finally have a use for these. When I bought these, it's $1 for 100 pieces. Supposedly they're gold plated, but I highly doubt that. Maybe true, maybe not, but we're gonna use these and I'm gonna fix this cable. So here are the tools that I'm gonna use for this repair. I have my Makita impact driver, I have wire strippers, and then I have this crimping tool, 6-piece interchangeable crimping dies plus tool. I paid like 35 bucks for this. You know, I didn't want to buy crimping tool, like 5 crimping tools for every, you know, crimp that I may need. I bought like a set of like terminals, and they all require different you know, different crimp tools. So this one is like a 6-in-1, so you can interchange these with the tool, which is pretty neat. I've used this a couple times, so but I haven't used it with this, so this will be my first time using the crimp, and hopefully I have it in here. It looks like I do, but I kept the manual just in case. Let me show you that. So here's the crimp tool here. Here's a little manual. There you go. It's just on screws. You can, you know, change those up. So I kept this because of this here. So it tells you which one to use for which connector here, or terminal. So the one we're going to use is similar to this one right here. So it's going to be similar to that. Yep. So it's going to be similar to that. It looks very similar right there. I'm going to need this tool for the crimp tool. So let me go ahead and swap that. So this is a crimp tool. It is ratchet one, so that's pretty neat. So here are the dies. The ones that are on there are for heat shrink connections. So I did try that with heat shrink connectors. So I'm gonna have to remove these. That's why I got my little impact here. I'm gonna remove these. And they just come off. You put this to the side. And the ones we need are, I think, these ones. No. Yeah, these ones right here. Right there. Yep. Alright, so these are the ones we need. We're gonna install it on this. Should be very simple. Like so. Let me get the screws on here. All right, cool. That's installed. Now we can use these connections here. Alright, so let me start cutting this cable. Alright, so I'm gonna start cutting this here. Just to finally just... Alright, so that's how the ends look. I don't know who did this. There are kind of like bite marks, so probably my dog or someone or something. This was in the storage set, so sometimes my dog goes in there, sometimes he doesn't. And I just noticed something else. What? This is from another end of the cable. Okay, it looks like there's no damage to this one. It's just it looks like the rubber just is a little peeled, but I think I'm just gonna use some electrical tape on this since there is actually no damage to the wire. So I'm just gonna do that. Just noticed that, damn it. But this is the one that I'm gonna repair, so let's do this. Alright, so now we gotta get to those cables. I'm gonna cut this end here. Then I gotta remove some of this shield here. Like this. And some heavy duty rubber here. There you go. Just gonna cut these off. It should be I think that should be good enough for the connections that we're gonna use. See that? I cut too much. I gotta cut this. Be careful on this side. My wire stripper will not fit on this. Yeah, it's too thick, so I can't use it. Cool, I think that should be good. Now for these connections, so the way they work are so the big wings on this, they're to grab the rubber piece, and then the wire is to be grabbed by the ones in the middle here. So we're gonna want to strip enough wire to where it's gonna look something like this. Let me show you. Let me start off small here. It should be good enough actually. So it should be like this, and then like that. Yep, that looks perfect actually. Yeah, so once I crimp it down, it should hold both pieces. So let me try that. It's actually my first time doing this. I did some research on this, and hopefully this works. Bend these a little bit. This crimper is heavy, so it's kind of difficult to do in balls. Let me open like this. Perfect. All right, I got it in there. I'm gonna crimp. You gotta pull it out. You see that? That looks pretty good actually. It's in there, holding strong. Maybe I should crimp a little more because it looks like some of it didn't go too well. Let me try one more time. Okay. One more time. Right there. Oh, yes. Look at that. I think that's a perfect connection, no? Alright, now I just gotta do that to the other side. Hey, let me do the positive first. Just so I won't miss everything up here. Oh damn, I gotta put in some shrink wrap too. Alright, let me put my shrink wrap first because I don't want to forget this. I always forget this part. I don't have a lot anymore, so shrink wrap. I'm gonna have to cut this. Should be enough, and then once the cable is in there, I can use the shrink wrap like this. For the positive, of course, I'm red here. Just cut around the same length. So I'm just gonna do all the ends and then connect them. Ah, damn it. You guys will not believe what just happened. Look at this. Look at this. I connected the negative and the positive. What was I thinking? Okay, let me go ahead and fix this and then I'll be back when I'm done. Alright, so finally I am finished. Check this out. Finally got the right cables connected to each other. Damn, these shrink wraps are really getting in the way. I'm showing this. So this is the negative here. It looks really good actually, right? Should be a solid connection. I can also put some solder on this, but honestly I think it's fine. It's a nice connection on both ends, so I think it looks really good. Also the positive here, check that out, it looks really good. Both of them look really good, so I think I'm just gonna shrink wrap these now, and then yeah, that should be it for this repair. Alright, finally fully done now. Got the cable with electric tape now, both so yeah, now it's finally repaired. Even though it still worked, you know, it's still a dangerous thing to have a exposed wire like that. So yeah, what do you guys think about this repair? What could I have done better, or was this pretty good? You know, awesome. Well, that's all for this video. Thank you for watching. Have a good one. See you guys in the next one.